Yeah, my first thing is to find the perfect loop, and then from there I could create the chops. So Splice will tell you the BPM, which is 75, but there is a way to find out the BPM on this, and I'll go over it. Obviously, there's not a camera pointing at the screen, the very, very small screen on the 2000 XL. So if you do have a 2000 XL, you would just have to follow along and figure it out. So yeah, it already got the transient the way that I want it. You could use it that way, but I want to use it as a loop and then chop it into zones. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the play X instead of all. I'm gonna put after end. So basically, wherever I put my endpoint, it'll play after that. And what I'm using that for is to try to make sure that I catch the ending position. I did record that downbeat, or like 2 hits after the downbeat that I wanted to chop. My slider doesn't work, so I have to use a jog wheel OD. Like, there's a shortcut to trim with the slider, but my slider, I tried to solder it. I think I did a tech video on it, and it didn't. I ended up burning out the traces on it, so I would have to get a whole top left PCB board to fix that, and I don't use that enough to justify right now. So I'm gonna go a little bit before that to see if that's the one that I heard. It's probably after that open hat. That's how a drummer would have played it. So that kick, that would be the kick I was talking about. So I'm gonna zoom in and kind of go up to that. And like, sometimes you kind of want to chop into it a little bit more. So I will get that whole kick, because I don't want to create the way that I do it is I leave the original sample untouched, and then I create a new sample from that sample. So I make a copy of it, and then I make sure I have like some extra room so that if I trimmed off too much, it doesn't mess up my whole chop. So what I'm gonna do is hit edit, and instead of discard, which would trim both samples at the end, what I'm gonna go into is section into new sound. So then I'm gonna hit do it, and then that takes it trims some of the fat, but I still kept a little space in the beginning and a little space at the end, so that I could find my loop points and work within that parameter. Because sometimes what I used to do before is that I would cut too much. Like I would zoom in so much, and these things are not accurate. You gotta kind of also use your ear, and then like I had to resample things a lot because I was either cutting too much or like making mistakes on the front and on the end. So I learned from that. I just leave a little bit, and then I find the loop point, and then when I have a perfect loop, then I'll do another section into new sound, if that makes sense. Yes, it's a lot of work, but that's what these samplers require. So I'm gonna go back to like where the start point was before, which is usually like 4410. I don't know if they all do that. And there's a reason for these numbers too. I was watching, it has to do with sample. And obviously like it's on 44.1. So let me see, I'm gonna put back the play X to all. Yeah. So that would be that last hit would be like that last kick would be the end of my loop. And then I'll test the loop. Put this back to after end. That kick should be the one of the start of the next loop. So let me see. Put it a little bit before it. Let's see. So now what I would do is I would take these numbers, start and end, and I would go to loop. So now we put loop to on. And this is how once the loop is set to on, you hit parameters, and this is how you would check the BPM. So you could put it on like 16, I guess. Yeah, 16, and it's telling me the tempo 75, which is the same tempo that Splice had listed on the sample. So I'm guessing this is already a perfect loop. I might have to make certain adjustments. Let me go to the loop page and then play X, play all, and see if it's looping perfectly. Yep. And that's with drums and this MPC 2000 XL. This is the easiest way to chop drums. I know it seems hard, but once you got the hang of it, that's also why I sold my 2500, because I couldn't figure out how to take this workflow into the 2500 without getting like clicks and pops here and there. Like this just works. Like if you're able to get your start point, which is usually, if you leave everything standard, is going to be 4410, and then the end you adjust it, and always keep the hit of the next one, if you're able to, of the next downbeat, if you're able to, because then you'll be able to like get a perfect loop. When you get a perfect loop on the 2000 XL, then that's how you're able to do what that video of Pete Rock talking about, I think Scratch Magazine, about chopping it into little pieces. Because if you get it perfectly, then you could play with it on the pads, and I'm gonna show you guys how to do that now.